For nearly 4 decades, the world believed it already knew how Andy Gibb's story ended. The headlines were written, the rumors were sealed, and time quietly buried what felt like the final truth. But behind closed doors, one voice remained silent, a voice that carried memories no one had ever heard. Until now, in this video. Andy Gibb's daughter finally steps forward to reveal what really happened after the cameras stopped rolling and the spotlight faded. Her words challenge everything the public thought it understood about his death, exposing details that were never meant to surface. Why was the truth hidden for so long? What did the world get completely wrong? And how has this silence shaped her life for nearly 4 decades? What you're about to hear may permanently change the way you see Andy Gibb's final days. Andy Gibb was born into one of the most famous names in music history, but not into a familiar embrace. She is the only daughter of Andy Gibb, the pop star whose voice once dominated radios across the world. Born on January 25, 1978, Peta entered the world after her parents' relationship had already ended. By then, Andy had moved on, swept into a highly publicized romance. While Peta's life began far from his daily reality, from the very beginning, her bond with her father was shaped by distance. Andy's world was spiraling under the weight of fame, addiction, and emotional turmoil. Stability became rare. Presence became fleeting. Peta would see him only a handful of times, usually during brief visits overseas for most of her childhood. Her connection to her father existed through phone calls. Years later, Peta would admit something heartbreaking. Her strongest memory of Andy Gibb was not his face, but his voice coming through a telephone line, close enough to hear, yet forever out of reach. In Andy's glittering world of celebrity, Peta often felt like she didn't belong. She once described him as feeling more like a distant uncle than a father. At school, her famous surname became both a shield and a burden. She overheard whispers about his struggles long before she was old enough to understand them. Fame followed her without protection. Still, some connections proved impossible to erase. Peta inherited Andy's musical instincts. She learned guitar, she learned piano, and creativity became her refuge. But instead of stepping into the spotlight, she chose a different path. Photography became her voice, telling stories quietly from behind the camera. Later, she built a family of her own, and becoming a mother changed everything. It was then, she said, that she fully realized what she had missed: a father's steady presence, guidance, and protection. Grief slowly transformed into understanding, and understanding eventually led to forgiveness to the world. Andy Gibb looked like he was living a fantasy as the youngest of the Gibb brothers. He wasn't just borrowing a famous name, he was building his own legacy. By the late 1970s, his solo career had exploded, hit after hit. Magazine covers, screaming fans, he radiated youth, warmth, and confidence. But behind the smile, everything was quietly falling apart. The speed of Andy's success became his greatest burden. Fame demanded discipline, resilience, and emotional maturity he hadn't yet developed. The schedules were relentless, the expectations were crushing, and the comparisons to his brothers never stopped at first. Cocaine felt like survival, a way to stay awake, stay sharp, and keep going. But slowly, it stopped being a tool and became a trap. His health weakened, his finances collapsed. Relationships fractured behind the joy fans saw on television lived in tense mood swings and deep depression. Even at his highest moments, Andy was running from fear, insecurity, and impossible standards by the early 1980s. The cracks could no longer be hidden. Concerts were canceled, studio sessions abandoned, support systems disappeared. His marriage ended with a devastating ultimatum: get sober or lose everything. Andy tried. He entered rehab more than once, but addiction proved stronger than intention. Each relapse pushed stability further away as his career slowed. Financial chaos closed in. Unpaid taxes, mounting debts, legal trouble. The fortune fame once gave him vanished completely. In 1987, Andy returned to England, hoping family might ground him. For a brief moment, hope returned. He appeared healthier, calmer. He even began writing again, but recovery was fragile. Years of substance abuse had already taken a devastating toll on his heart. In early March 1988, Andy was rushed to the hospital with severe chest pain. Days later, at just 30 years old, he was gone. The official cause was myocarditis, a viral inflammation of the heart. But doctors acknowledged that long-term substance abuse had dangerously weakened him. Andy Gibb died with no will. Andy Gibb died with no will, no estate, no financial security for his daughter. Peta grew up without her father, and without the safety his fame should have provided. Andy was not the only Gibb brother lost too soon. Maurice died suddenly in 2003. Robin followed in 2012. After a long battle with cancer, by 2023, only Barry Gibb remained, carrying the memories, harmonies, and voices of a family forever changed. Behind the myth of the Bee Gees were children who inherited not stadiums, but silence, not applause, but unfinished conversations. Yet the music never truly stopped. Barry's children carried it forward, not through headlines, but through craft, through songwriting, through performance, through quiet dedication, where loss once threatened silence. Creation answered back. Andy Gibb's story, however, remains a bittersweet ballad, a meteoric rise, a devastating fall, and a daughter left knowing him more through memory than presence, but reducing his life to tragedy, misses the deeper truth. Those who knew Andy spoke of warmth, generosity, and a desperate desire to give back. His voice still comforts millions, and the charitable work done in his name continues to reflect the kindness he carried even in his darkest moments. Andy Gibb's life ended far too soon, but his voice did not. In melody and memory, he remains unfinished, imperfect, and unforgettable. Asterisk, if this story moved you. Share your thoughts below. Do you believe the world truly understood Andy Gibb's life, or only the headline version? Subscribe for more untold stories behind the spotlight.